All right, so you decided to get on another fitness journey, but deep down inside, you know yourself. You might do good for a month, you might do good for 6 weeks, and then you fall back into your old habits, and then you get frustrated and you look down at your stomach and you're like, man, it's just a vicious cycle. You're disciplined in every other area. As you can do with you're good with your kids, you handle complex issues at work. Every day you show up for your family, but when it comes to fitness, you just get so frustrated and you're tired of living an unhealthy life. If this describes you, listen up closely because I have a strategy that I personally use for 10 years that make me super disciplined when it comes to my health and fitness, and they carry over to every other areas of my life. And also I use it for clients to help them transform their bodies and actually sustain the weight and actually sustain the transformation. I guarantee you, if you do this, this right here is going to help everything. And this is the number one thing that I see with client transformations. If you do this one key, it's going to help you sustain it and keep the results. All right, so before we get into it, I want to show you some real life people that I work with. So this is my client, Joe. His struggle was he was going to the gym, stopping, or he'll go for 2 months and then he'll fall off on his eating, or he'll fall off on his gym, and he never can really get the results that he's seen. He's putting in a lot of work, but it was stopping, starting, and he just never will get to the place of his journey. So check this out.
I'm gonna hit that beach next summer so many times it ain't even freaking funny.
Yeah, you gonna
I'm
be back.
old. I can. What the hell? I'm going. But man, I got to put another hole in my belt. It don't work anymore. And my sweatpants, I'm gonna have to put a fold in the back so I got to take them. I ain't buying them more because I know they're gonna get smaller. But anyway, my drawstring just won't keep. I'm pulling my pants up half time at the gym now, so it's working, man. I'm happy.
Yeah. That's
I'm happy.
that's a common problem we hear. We hear a lot for sure.
Well, that's good, man.
All right, so let's think about it. Here's a scenario. You set a new goal. Yeah, all right, this year I'm about to lose 30 pounds. I'm finally going to lose this gut. I'm motivated. I got my water. I got my food. My gym is 5 minutes from the house. Man, I'm about to go there. I'm super excited. 1 week I'm going strong. Okay, I lost a couple pounds. I'm looking really good in the mirror. The second week I'm going again. I'm like, oh man, I'm telling people, oh yeah, I can't go out. I can't go out right now because I got to go to the gym. No, I'm not eating out right now because I'm focused. I'm focused. A month has passed by and you're like, man, okay, I'm feeling good. But your kid just got sick. This is just scenario. Everything, a lot of different scenarios happen, but your kid just got sick. Oh man, now I cannot work out for a whole week. I got to stay with my kid. Now he has to eat certain things, and now I have to sit there and eat with him. Matter of fact, let me just order DoorDash because I don't have time to actually cook because he needs me and I got to run around. On top of this, work is getting busy, so I'm falling off my routine. This is just one scenario, and it happens all the time. All the time. Life is going to happen, and then this vicious cycle, starting, stopping, happens, and it just makes you feel really discouraged. And a lot of times you're like, maybe I'm just not cut out for, this whole fitness and health thing. I'll see some results, and deep down inside, you might be thinking like, I don't know if I'll ever hit my goal. I don't know if I'll ever be like, those people I see on Instagram and like who can just go all the time and super motivated. Like, how do they do it? I don't really feel like that's me. But let me tell you, it is simply not true. You could do it. I promise you can do it. I've seen and work with the people who couldn't do anything. They can work out for like 10 minutes only. They're out of breath. They eat horrible. And we've transformed these people. I've transformed these people and actually shifted their approach. You cannot just set a goal. The biggest thing that I see when people are the biggest piece of failure that I see when people are actually want to set a goal, like, all right, cool, I want to lose 30 pounds and I want to lose this gut, whatever they want to have, is if they just set a goal, but they're not actually changing their identity and they're not fully committed, they're not really going to see it. When people call me like, man, I got a birthday coming up in 2 months and I want to lose the weight, you're not really going to see that goal. So you got to have like, all right, this is the lifestyle I want to live. I don't have anything that's like I'm setting. I want to just change this lifestyle and go full-fledged. Let's be clear. You are a disciplined person despite what your past results have shown. If you're like, man, I struggle with being consistent when it comes to eating healthy. I struggle when it comes to going to the gym. Like, I'll go for a week, I'll start and stop. But think about that. This is just one area of your life. All the other areas of your life, I'm sure you're pretty consistent when you're building your business or when you're showing up for your kids. you don't miss it. You show up every single time when it's time to go to work or when it's time to show up for your wife or your family. You're always there. You're always consistent. So if you can do it in those other areas, you can do it in this area. I'm gonna show you how. Here's the missing link: habit tracking. So if you're running a business, you're not just going to say, all right, I want to make $1 million this year in my business. And you're not looking at your metrics. You're not looking at how many sales calls you have. You're not looking at how many meetings you're setting. You're not looking at how much money is in your bank account. You're just, all right, I'm going to set this big goal. I'm going to go hard. I'm going to make sure, I'm doing good things. I'm reaching out to people. I'm doing what I need to do, but you're not tracking anything. Your business is not going to succeed like that. So let's start treating our fitness just like any area of our life that we really want to focus on and we want to grow and we want to put a system around it. It's almost like I would prefer you to track your habits more than I would prefer you to track your calories. Why do I say that? A lot of times when people focus on just solely on tracking their calories, which is a good thing, is they do it temporarily and then they fall off. But when you track your habits, what works for me personally and clients is that it also shifts your identity at the same time. If you also want to get better results when it comes to your health and fitness, you're going to need an identity shift. If you think about this, if you've been struggling for years, the average person I talk to is more than 5 to 10 years. And I say like, all right, what's your goal? All right, man, I want to lose 40 pounds. I want to get this stomach flat. I want to get under 200 pounds. I want to start feeling good again, especially in my clothes. My question is, when's the last time have you felt like that? Oh man, shoot, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it's been a long time. In order to hit that goal, you're not going to just see it overnight. So you're going to have to put in some work. But your main thing is you're going to have to shift that identity. And this is where habit tracking comes in place. So the beauty of habit tracking is its simplicity and its power. If you want to achieve something, it's got to be super simple and something you can take action on every day. This is at least what I think. Small, actionable steps that's going to help you achieve it. That's not super complicated. This is why I love tracking habits over tracking just only calories, because it gets super complicated. Then you got to figure out, okay, how much macros did I have, or did I eat this much? And then you just don't do it anymore, and then you fall off and you're back on this vicious cycle. This is, if you want something super simple that's going to help you achieve the result, this, I promise you is going to work. All right. Matter of fact, let's just get right to the app. The app that I use personally is called Habit Share. I've been using that for a long time now, probably about almost 10 years now. There's a lot of other apps that you can get, so you don't only have to get that, but that is a free app that you can actually download. But whatever one you get, make sure you put in these 4 key habits, okay? In order to transform your body, you're going to need food specifically, all right? So we're going to name one food. The second one we're going to do is water. The third one is exercise. And the fourth pillar is sleep. Okay? I believe these 4 are really going to help you transform your body. If your food is right, if you're consistent with your exercise, if you're getting enough water, and if you're getting enough sleep, then everything else is going to fall in place. Okay? So whenever you download, make sure food, what this means is, all right, I'm not eating out every other day. I'm not eating horrible. If you ate good for that day, click a green or make sure, all right, I did a good habit. So green is good, red is not good. Track your habits, super simple like that. Sleep, if you got at least 5 to 8 hours, put a green on your habit share. All right, I did good on the sleep, give myself a green. And then so on and so on forth. Exercise. Did you exercise or not? What this is going to show you is a clear indication of where you're at. So if you're talking to yourself and you're frustrated, and you're like, man, I'm not seeing the results I'm putting in the work. We can look back at your habits and be like, damn, maybe I'm not really putting in the work. I didn't exercise all week. For 6 days straight, I had food that was bad. And it really gives you real life data that you can look at, and it's like, man, okay, I'm really not doing what I'm saying that I want to do, and I wonder why I'm not actually seeing the results. And what that does is almost gamifies the experience. At least it does for me and clients. And then you can see like, okay, I'm not going to have 2 days in a row that I'm going to have bad eating days or bad food days. And over time, what it does subconsciously and consciously, it actually changes who you are. And you're like, no, I'm getting my workout in today because I already missed last 2 days last week. I'm going to have all greens this week. And if you do that month over month, year after year, this is going to be the type of person that you become. And then a bonus tip is you start adding other habits. You know what? I'm killing these habits right here. Let me add in some reading. Let me add in some meditation. Or I'm going to grow my business. Let me reach out to 10 clients per day. And let me put that in my habit share. Right now, I probably have like 12 different habits that I actually track every day. But success, you need to actually track things to have success. You can't just have like random things. You're like, okay, let me track what I'm doing so I can see what I'm doing and I can measure it. If I can track it, I can measure it, I can succeed. Early in this video, I showed my client Joe, and he was literally about 5 to 10 years that he was just on and off, on and off, on and off. And within 6 months, he's transformed his body. He lost 30 pounds. Joe is in his 50s, and he's like, man, I've been doing this for a long time, and I still couldn't really crack the code of like how to be consistent and how to really hit my goals. Habit tracking was just one part of the equation that we actually did for him. Of course, we gave him specific workouts and foods. But once you start tracking his habits, he really can solve like, okay, I really have to hone this in and transform his whole life. So if you're at a point, you're like, man, I'm tired of just living this unhealthy lifestyle and I want to get my stomach right. I want to like feel better in the mirror. I want to just don't walk around this lifestyle and just like feel weak and just feel like I'm vulnerable and I cannot. Now when I'm looking in the mirror, I really hate what I'm looking at. This is what you need to do because first, like I said, it's going to gamify the experience. It's going to make you focus on something else rather than only the results, and it's going to give you something that you can track every single day. Secondly, it's going to provide you clarity of exactly where you're at, and then it's going to show you the gaps that you're lacking in. Maybe you are doing good on your exercise and you're actually eating good for your food, but you're not getting enough sleep. Have a client right now, he's going hard, he was doing all his food and his exercise, and we're like, what is the gaps? Why aren't you seeing results? It's because he was working so hard on his business, he wasn't getting enough sleep. So what that does is brings up your stress and your cortisol levels, and then it's going to hold all that weight in your midsection because you're not actually letting your body rest. So when you have a habit tracking, you have some data to look at, it's going to give you that clarity. And thirdly, most importantly, it's going to give you that momentum that you need to succeed. I promise you, if you download this app or whatever app that you want to get that tracks habits, it's going to help you build momentum. And this is the number one key factor that I see to success when it comes to health and fitness is if you're tracking it, it's going to build you momentum. If you have all week of greens and you're doing great on your food, your exercise, your sleep, you're going to see some results. And that's going to give you momentum. You're like, okay, next week I want to get all greens. That way you're not really focusing on the task. You just want to get this done and you want to get these habits put into your app. And that's going to help you succeed. So it gives you something else to focus on and also builds that momentum. I hope this video gave you value. And if it did, make sure you comment below and let me know if you're going to try it out. Let me know which app that you actually downloaded. I use Habit Share myself. But if you're on a journey and you're like, man, I'm super frustrated. Like, I really hate the way I'm living this healthy lifestyle. I'm not really being a good example. And then when I look in the mirror, I'm just really frustrated, like with myself. And like, how did I let myself get here? My stomach is sticking out. I feel weak. I can't even do, I can't run a mile. I can't do 30 push-ups straight. And I just feel like I want to just improve my lifestyle. And I want to get a program that is structured towards me. That's going to help me elevate my lifestyle. Let me know and I'll put a link in the description. We can schedule a call and see if it's a good fit and we can have a chat. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you download that app and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.